So this is not exactly what I'm going for.
So a pavlova is essentially a meringue cake. So what we're going to do first is make our meringue. And to do that, we want to make sure that our bowl and our whisk are totally clean and free of oils. So I'm just taking some vinegar and wiping down the bowl. Not a lot, you just want a very thin layer of vinegar just to make sure that that bowl is totally clean. And then I'm just adding my egg whites. This is 6 egg whites. This was actually left over from the egg yolks that I used in last week's recipe. And I'll link that up in the cards if you want to see that. So I am just whipping that up on medium speed until it's foamy. And I'm just adding my sugar in little by little. You don't want to put it in all at once because that will deflate our meringue and it won't whip up. So do you guys see how this batter is kind of looser now and it's not really staying up into peaks anymore? That's because I deflated too much air out of this batter. It could have been that I folded too fast or not correctly. It could have been because I didn't use cream of tartar at the beginning. It could have been because I didn't add any extra vinegar. Could be a ton of different things, but one thing is for sure, this is definitely not right. I did choose to bake this, however. I wanted to show you guys what it would look like. So I baked this in a 300-degree preheated oven for about 30 minutes. You want it to be a little bit off-white and crusty on the outside, but then still fluffy on the inside. And then when it's done, you want to shut the oven off and crack the oven door. And leave that in there for about another 2 to 3 hours, or you could even do this overnight.
So this is not exactly what I'm going for.
So now take 2. I am taking some room temperature eggs and separating those. This is how I separate eggs. I crack them into a clean bowl and pick that yolk up with my hands and let the white fall through my fingers. Then I gently place it into a separate bowl.
Huh?
Holy crap. This egg will not, crack in, a way that I can...
And this time I'm going to use cream of tartar. Cream of tartar is an acid that will stabilize your egg whites and also help them to retain air. So when you whip them up, they won't get the air knocked out of them so easily. What's also super important in a pavlova is the incorporation of the sugar. You want to trickle it in slowly, as I said, and also you want to make sure that it all incorporates completely before you move on. So you want to take some of the batter in between your fingers when it's all whipped up, and rub it between your fingers. And if you still feel graininess of unincorporated sugar, then it is not ready. And this is very important because sugar that is not incorporated correctly can cause weeping in your pavlova. And weeping is when the inside marshmallowy texture of the pavlova starts to shrink. It also causes more cracking in your pavlova. It can also cause it to be a little bit soggy. Do you see the difference? Now, I used the same amount of time here. I used the same procedure with trickling in the sugar. The only difference was that my second attempt had cream of tartar in the beginning and my first attempt didn't. But what a huge difference. My first attempt was kind of more dull and didn't stick up as high as the other ones do. And the other ones, the second attempt is definitely glossier. I'm gonna try going a lot slower this time with my folding. So for the second attempt, I decided to go with mini pavlovas. I just thought I would have an easier time with them, and also I just kind of like mini individual size desserts rather than bigger desserts. So I'm just dolloping about 4 to 6 inch dollops on the parchment paper. I got about 6, but yours is going to vary depending on what size you want. Like I said, I went with about 4 to 6 inches for each of them. What you can also do is draw a circle on the parchment paper to get a more even circular shape, but I really wasn't too worried about that, so I just did dollops. And a good indication of whether your batter is the right consistency is that it should stick to everything. You're going to need to push the batter off of one utensil with the second utensil. I mean, you can do it with one utensil, it's just a lot easier with two. And if it's very easy with one, then your batter is way too soupy and it'll still be delicious. My first attempt was absolutely delicious. It just won't be the right look. So now I'm going to stick these in my 300-degree prepared oven for about 30 minutes until the outside is a little bit off-white and crusty, and the middle is a beautiful marshmallowy, fluffy, soft texture. And then I'm going to turn the oven off, crack the oven door, and leave those in there for about 2 to 3 hours to cool gently. We just want to prevent any cracking. All of these are super delicate, so no cracking at all is pretty impossible, but this definitely helps. Whoopsie! Raspberries overboard. So this is the finished product. As you can see, it has a marshmallowy light texture on the inside and it's crusty on the outside, and when you're moving this around and transferring it to a plate, it cracks. It's what it does. You can minimize this by moving it very gently with a spatula, but it's super delicate, so don't beat yourself up too much if it cracks. You can cover that up with some fresh whipped cream and some berries. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, don't forget to leave me a like down below. And if you have any suggestions for what you would like to see next, don't forget to leave me a comment. And subscribe to make more messes with me. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!